Default. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
You know, I just don't spend
Turn
much.
up your mind.
One more point on this. I have long said that we should have kept the oil in Iraq. I said it over and over and over again. Another area where my judgment has been proven correct. I just said it so many times, virtually every time I was interviewed. Keep the oil, keep the oil. According to CNN, ISIS made as much as $500 million in oil sales in 2014 alone. That's before they really got started. Fueling and funding its reign of terror. If we had controlled the oil, like I said we should, we could have prevented the rise of ISIS in Iraq, both by cutting off a major source of funding and through the presence of U.S. forces necessary to safeguard the oil and vital infrastructure products necessary for us to have the oil. I was saying this constantly and consistently to whoever would listen. I said,
Your kids?
Keep the oil. Keep the oil. Keep the oil. Don't let somebody else get it. If they had listened to me then, we would have had the economic benefits of the oil. This proposal, by its very nature, would have left soldiers in place of our assets. We would have had soldiers there guarding this valuable supply of oil. In the old days, when we won a war, to the victor belonged the spoils.
Yeah, no, that's not how we. That's not what makes America exceptional. No, we don't occupy the places that we go to war in. It's an interesting thing. Garbage in, garbage out is what happened there. I started to, listen to it when you did, I'm sure. And then I was going to fact check it, but there's so much bullshit that I can't fact check it because it just keeps going and going and going and go. And it's just all bullshit. The thing is, when you start with a false premise, and that is that America is an occupier, that America occupies countries after the wars, then we would be occupying Germany right now, Poland right now, Italy after Mussolini, Spain after Franco, Austria after Hitler. The American Caliphate would be built. It would have been built. Yay for the Oh. Yeah, that's not who we are. It's not what we do. So, you know what? It was the most amazingly stupid foreign policy. ISIS, First of all, this man has absolutely no concept who ISIS is. He doesn't understand that they are a death cult. He doesn't understand, how they came to be. He continued the whole freaking, just the whole weekend. It was amazing. From, hey, the only way I'll lose is if they cheat in Pennsylvania, where Hillary is up by like double digits. Yeah, they're going to cheat in Pennsylvania. I mean, it is just the most amazing campaign I've ever seen of just bullcrap. But, one thing must be true. And I'm just guessing because I went to my YouTube's page over the weekends and I sees myself, some people there posting, and they tell me that I'm hideously ugly, that I'm ugly and I'm a pig. The C word came up. God, who uses that word? Seriously, it's the 21st century. Who still uses that word? All that came up. So, I try and respond to some people who say certain things. How do you respond to somebody who thinks you're hideously ugly? So I'll tell you what I did do. I went and looked them up. I wanted to see what beauties they were. Oh, man, you are disgusting. I mean, really, the nerve of you to call me. But, at first I saw all the ugly, that I was ugly, that I was fat, I'm not fat. Yeah, look, I'm not fat. But I mean, if I were, I'd say I was. I'm not anymore. I haven't been for about 4 or 5 years. But honest to God, man, I thought, well, the whole South can't be wrong. Because the more I looked up these people, the more Southern there's one guy, so freaking offensive. So he's in Arkansas. I looked him up. I found his Facebook page. And of course, on his Facebook, he's posing with an Uzi. And he's like, I don't know. I'm guessing he's 60. He's probably 48, but just drank himself to look 60. They say you have the face you deserve by the time you're 40. Hello? But I mean, I just thought, the whole South kid, Howard, am I fat and ugly? Am I a C word? Am I this and that? It's like, get off of there. So I go, no, I have to ask. So I asked, I started saying, so where are you from? Making casual conversation. So where are you from? What do you do? It turns out they don't do anything, and they're from Arkansas. And a lot of them. It's the whole South. It's the whole right. It's the whole undereducated, never graduated high school, don't know what the inside of a college cafeteria would ever look like, don't get the joke that college is just high school with ashtrays. You know what I mean? It's like that crowd. And then there's this unique epidemic in our country of 50-something and 60-something-year-old men, pre-Medicare, right? Pre-Medicare, pre-Social Security, who haven't worked in about 10 years. And it's really pretty damn sad, and it's an epidemic. And those seem to be the Trump supporters. And no matter what you say to them, no matter what no matter what facts. For instance, today Donald Trump, thank God, said this, because this was the big thing I tried to show them, but they don't read. They won't read anything at any time, anywhere. And I got to say, if you really wanted to understand the two things that you think are very important to you, Trump voters, trade and ISIS. If you wanted to understand either of those two things, then this weekend on the C-SPAN, there was a whole retrospective on trade Saturday night. I actually put that on my Facebook page saying, I know it's Saturday night, but if you're wanting to understand trade, here you go. And it was a link to the C-SPAN show that looked at trade beginning with NAFTA in 1990 and 2, because NAFTA was written by George Herbert Walker Bush. It was written by George Herbert Walker Bush. It was a Republican idea. When Bill Clinton became president in 93, he signed it, looking to reach out to the Republicans. Okay. And that's kind of how we got NAFTA. Clinton didn't write it. He did sign it. That's a fact. However, I don't think anybody went and watched that. And then, of course, the whole thing with Obama is the founder of ISIS. I mean, they love that line. These wretched people who think I'm just a hideous pig. They loved that line, and it was fed to them over and over and over and over and over again. No matter what Trump said, when he was in PA the other day, no matter what he said in Connecticut. Why is he campaigning in Connecticut? Connecticut has not voted for a Republican, I don't think, since 1988, okay? It's like he's trying to lose, which was what I was trying to discuss. Why is your guy trying to lose? What is the deal with him? And I said, just post any, I'll read your responses. I'm very interested in wanting to know why your guy is trying to lose. And I just got called every name in the book, including the P word, the C word, ugly, fat. And, I'm a girl, and that stuff kind of stings. You know what I mean? Because we always think, no matter how, we put ourselves together, that that girl over there is prettier. It's our mind. So after I wept, I started, looking for things to post and ask them to please read. And of course, the thing with the founder of ISIS comes right down to the simplest thing. Who is the president who announced the exit date? Who is the president who negotiated the day that American forces would leave? Right, Donald? Right? Thank you.
After we had made those hard-fought sacrifices and gains, we should have never made such a sudden withdrawal on a timetable advertised to our enemies.
Right.
They said, we're moving out. Here's our time. Here's our date. Who would do this but an incompetent president?
Right. Now, that was the only true thing he said.
Major combat operations in Iraq have ended.
But he went a different direction. It's like a bad joke. You go, and then you go like this. You go over there. It's amazing because Bush did that. That's called the Status of Forces Agreement. It was negotiated in 2008. And the reason why Bush did it is because it gave us 4 more years in Iraq. The date to leave, the announced date, the advertised date to leave was January 1st, 2012. That was the advertised date to leave. And why in the world? Okay, so you say, well, now we have a new president. Why didn't he renegotiate? Because Iraq is a sovereign nation. George W. Bush was so proud of himself for having elections in Iraq, and they elected themselves a Shia because the Shia are the majority in Iraq, except the Sunnis had been in charge all these years under Saddam. The whole army was Sunni. Every great government job in Iraq was Sunni. If you were Shia, you were garbage. You were white trash, except, cocoa-colored trash. And so they elected themselves a Shia as soon as they had free and fair elections, and they elected Maliki. And Maliki wanted America out of there, out. And so what he said was he was going to start prosecuting our soldiers in Iraqi courts. That's the Status of Forces Agreement. The Status of Forces Agreement said Maliki is the president of Iraq. He was duly elected by the people. And if we do not leave by January 1st, 2012, our troops will come under Iraqi court jurisdiction, and they will be tried for murder if they kill anybody in Iraq after that date. And when Obama went to try and renegotiate that, the parliament in Iraq, Maliki's government, said no. Now, we would have had to go to war all over again to get rid of Maliki because they had elections. Oh, my God. So I tried to get people to look at the Status of Forces Agreement, and I asked them, why do you have such amnesia? I mean, this didn't happen, such a long-ass time ago. This happened, like 2008 when you were probably still getting prescriptions for the Oxy, before you had to go to the heroin. Oh, that's why you can't remember jack crap. You're on meds. Oh, my God. Well, Bush signed the Status of Forces Agreement in 2008, something that he did so that his efforts in Iraq wouldn't be interpreted by the American people as a defeat. And it left troops in there for the next president to pull out. But a date certain was set by Bush. So the second you hear this crap about how we should have occupied Iraq, we should have taken its oil, that America's policy is to the victor goes the spoils, whatever happened to the Marshall Plan, for God's sake? Not only after the war did we exit Germany, did we exit Italy, did we exit Spain, did we exit Austria, did we exit Poland? But we also helped them. We gave them money to rebuild their countries because it was in America's best interests to do so. On the one hand, you got crazy Trump saying we don't want to be the world's policeman, and and on the other hand, he wants to occupy nations like we used to. What is he talking about? Very, very bizarre. And then he starts down the road to Syria and Libya. You know what? Let's not get too complex about it, because these guys are not lawnmower men. I never knew it would be so complex. Let's just say it this way, okay? This is pretty freaking easy. First of all, we did not kill Muammar Gaddafi. I don't know why everybody says that. I don't know why, the right wing thinks that. I guess because they've been told that by Fox News over and over and over again. No, Muammar Gaddafi was killed by his own people. There. Okay? Muammar Gaddafi was found in a pipe hiding from his own people because there was an uprising in Libya and it became a humanitarian crisis. NATO troops, NATO forces from the air did airstrikes to support the militias that were overthrowing Gaddafi, who had gone mentally insane and was so brutal that they said, this is our moment, this is our time, let's do this. NATO supported what the people of Libya were doing. We didn't kill Gaddafi. Gaddafi fled Tripoli. He went to his hometown and he tried to hide out there. And he was in a pipe, just like Saddam was, in some sort of a silo under the ground, right? He went and he was hiding in a pipe. The guy who killed Gaddafi, now we don't really know if this guy did it, but it sure looks like it from the video. Oh yeah, there's video. Where the Libyans are celebrating that this guy right here was the guy who pulled the trigger and killed Gaddafi. Now, some people say Gaddafi was killed in crossfire in a car by the same militia group, but We didn't kill Gaddafi. So get that off there. That's what I'm saying. It's so much garbage out there. You can't. All right, so let's keep it simple. Libya has we have special forces in Libya right now helping those rebels get rid of these death cult people that swarmed in thinking there was a vacuum there and that they could do well. Okay? So we have special forces there, and a lot of progress was made, especially over this weekend. Of course, you don't read the paper, so you'd never know that. But a lot of progress was made in Libya, especially over this weekend. And we continue to make progress. We've killed tons of ISIS fighters, blah, blah, blah. We've taken away their ability to have territory, et cetera, et cetera. However, Syria, where Donald Trump thinks, the Russians should help, or Libya, we have special forces. It's getting better. Syria, we don't have special forces. Syria is a complete and utter chaotic humanitarian. I mean, that is Assad killing his own people and Russia helping Assad. Russia helps Assad kill people in Syria. And that thing is off the hook. That thing is out of control. That's where the refugees, the humanitarian crisis is, and that's where the refugees are trying to get in here. And another thing, what do you think? I mean, do you think you just show up on Ellis Island now and say, I'm from Syria and I'd like to live here? And we go, okay. Don't you know? I mean, no one even explains to you that there is an amazing amount of hoops you have to jump through to get to America from freaking Syria. First of all, they collect the identities of everybody in Syria that's living in a refugee camp, okay? Who does that? The United Nations does that. The UN Refugee Agency, the UNHCR, they collect the information from each and every person that is living in a refugee camp in Syria. That is tough work. They go around and they get all the identifying documents for that person. They do the initial assessment. They collect biodata. They collect addresses, birthdays, places of birth, all the biometrics. What is a biometric? An iris scan. We do that for every refugee in the Middle East, especially the Syrians. And then the UN interviews these applicants to confirm their status and their need for resettlement. We listen to their stories, whether or not they are really fleeing violence, whether or not their lives are in danger, whether or not their claim is accurate, whether or not their town has been decimated. Is their house still there? Where are their children? All that. That's the first step. And only applicants who are very strong candidates after that process move forward. And that's less than 1% of the global refugee population that makes it through step one. You morons, you.
Clear for takeoff. Randi Rhodes Air Force. Air Force. RandiRhodes.com.